Yeah, you really watched Utah State last week. And they were down a little bit, so they had to, create some momentum and, pass the ball. But they're still original to who they are, and they want to run the ball. So, we're getting ready to go stop the run.
What does that pass game add to their offense?
Yeah, it adds a lot. It starts with the eye control, and you probably heard that all week. We got to have great eye control from the front end to the back end, and everybody just doing their job. You add the run component with the pass, and so you have to make sure you're going out there and having the discipline to do your job every single play.
Eye control is one of those phrases that always comes up.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's because it's hard.
Yeah.
Why is it hard, and how do you teach it?
Yeah. You have to stress it in practice every single day. And you can't, I tell my guys, you can't do your job until you read your key. And your key is going to tell you everything, and that's at every position, from the back end to the front end. You read your key, you can react and play fast, and so that's all we're asking for the guys.
What's harder, or maybe more nerve-wracking, preparing to play Air Force as a player or coach?
I think for me as a coach, making sure the guys are in the right situations, or putting them, giving them the good looks, and for us, it's stressing our scout teams to run triple option. That's not what we do here. So getting the great looks, and so our guys can be prepared when they go out there on Saturday.
You don't have a ton of players that have played against much against Air Force. So how does your experience as a player help?
Yeah, the biggest thing I tell those guys is like I just said, how we practice it in practice. The game speed is gonna be a little bit faster, and so you have to stress yourself out in practice. I know that's something I've been stressing to the edge guys this week, is you have to stress yourself in practice. I want practice to be harder than the game, so you can go out there when you get to the game, you can just play fast and roll. And so the biggest thing as a coach is stressing those guys to know the game speed is gonna be a little faster in the first two series, but then once you get adjusted to it, you can go out there and fly around.
What'd you like most about your scout team this week,
Yeah.
giving you the best possible looks?
Yeah, I think our O-line did an amazing job. Just the physicality off the ball every single play. We had them cheated up, flying off the ball, and I thought they did a really, really good job of it, led by Coach Meach and our scout team coaches. And, that's the look that you're always looking for when you're playing against a team like this.
Playing a team that also uses two quarterbacks, moving them in and out.
Yeah.
What are the biggest differences between the two?
Yeah, one of the quarterbacks, when he comes in, they want to run the ball, run triple, get QB run game off of it. And then one quarterback, when he comes in, they want to, I wouldn't say go straight to the pass, but they use them a little bit more to pass the ball. But both quarterbacks are really good. We got to be ready to go with both of them.
You talk about kind of adjusting to the speed, Jabril. How do you kind of hang tight for those first two series or whatever, just to make sure you do what you have to while that adjustment might happen, I guess?
Yeah, we told our guys from the first play, you have to be on the attack. And you can't go out there, I always say this, you can't go out there and fill the game out. That's something that I'm big on, is like from the first play, you have to start fast. And you can't go, oh, I might get cut this play, or I might this happen. It might happen. But how do you respond? Get up, play fast. And so that's the type of mindset you got to have. There's no easing into this game. There's no, we got to see what they're doing, their adjustments. No, we go out there and you play fast in the first play.
Coach Danielson said, this is a team that finds their drives. They're definitely going to make plays. It seems like this is an offense that can be frustrating to play against as a defensive player. How do you keep a level head as a defensive player against this team?
No, I think you just, as I said earlier, you go out there and you do your job every single play. And the biggest thing is you stop them on first down, they're gonna have an answer. You stop them on second down, they're gonna have an answer. But the biggest thing for us is getting off the field. If we can get off the field and go 3 and out, we gain the momentum back as a defense to give that momentum now to the offense, so they can go do what they want to do.
In terms of the series against Air Force, you've beaten Air Force. I think you've lost Air Force as a player. You've seen it all. This is the last scheduled meeting right now with you guys going to the Pac-12. What do you just make about the history? And you guys have had some great games over the years.
Yeah, all respect to Air Force. When I played them, this was a game where I knew right away. Throughout the whole week, I had to be prepared, not just physically but mentally. That there was going to be ups and downs in the game. They have an answer to everything, and so for a player, you got to be ready to go in this week. Like, hey, I got to give my all into this, and it's been great games with Air Force. They're here. I've been a part of a couple where I got beaten by them, and I went there and won, and then came back and won on the blue. And so it for me, it's a big feeling of we got to go out there and do what we need to do every single play, and it'll take care of itself.
Everybody talks about doing your job in this matchup.
Yes.
So for your guys, the edge guys, what is your job?
Yeah, so our job is to play physical in the run game, and I can't go into detail of what exactly we got to do, but every single play. Just where are your eyes, where are your hands, what's your footwork, and in terms of playing fast. And that's been the motive, message to my guys this week is playing fast, cut it loose. I stress them in practice all week, so when they get into Saturday at 5 o'clock, play free.
Maybe that just kind of answers it or whatnot, but I feel like when you guys first started playing Air Force, it was like, what is this wizardry we have to face once a year or whatever.
Yeah.
As you've now played them 12 times, is there anything about not making it more than also like playing football? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, like early in the series, I feel like they got you a few times because I don't know, maybe a big deal was made of it.
Yeah. No, I think, when you look at their offense, it's definitely different than our normal offense. You go play where the formations, the movements, the slot, different things of that sort, the way they block different run game, it's definitely a little different. It's not your traditional, oh yeah, I'm gonna just fit this gap. It's more of, we gotta be detailed in our assignment. Everybody, I always talk about when you talk about doing your job, we got 11 guys on defense. All 11 have to do their job every single play for us to be successful. Different than playing a different offense. One guy might make a mistake, you can get it covered up. You make a mistake against Air Force, not have the pitch and not have this, it's gonna be a bad day for you.
In that game against South Florida, you guys were able to kind of train for that heat with the Inferno days.
Yes.
How do you prepare these players for the altitude that you experience up there?
Yeah, I think the more of it is just, we do the same normal things. We push them at practice. We make sure that they're ready to go, but the difference of not the altitude, but it's just the speed of the triple option that they got to get you ready for.
Chris was saying, how tiring is a game against Air Force? A guy with the triple option keeps you on the field. He also chooses. How tiring is that?
I would say as a player, they try to get the clock down to 12 seconds, different than a lot of different offense. So you're able to catch your breath before the next play. Different than like you said, the first team we play where it's nonstop, go play. You go get at the clock around 12 every single time. Different than most offense want to snap it, very fast. They go drain the clock down. So you go get your breath back.
Who's the most gullible guy in your room that when he sees that sign about the oxygen warnings and maybe dying or whatever, you got a guy that might fall for that?
None of them. Already got them ready for it.
I know you're the guys on the outside, but the guys on the interior, whether it be David Latu, obviously Brax, Michael Madre, Lopez Sanusi, those guys have been pretty good against the run so far this year. Why has that been the case, and what do they do for your guys?
Yeah, no, we stress it. As a front four, we meet a lot as a front four. And our on defense is our number one goal is to stop the run. And that doesn't just stop with the edge guys. It starts with the front four, and it includes really all 11. We talk about playing sideline to sideline. And shoot, corners might have to set their edge and run plays. And so we stress that a lot on defense. And, our D tackles, where Coach Male is doing a really good job. Coach Shins, as a whole front, if you see the way we train our guys on Tuesday, they're ready to go most of the time. And so we just take pride in that front four. Me playing here, it means a little bit more of, our front four have to dominate games.
You guys were practicing without them having a ball.
Yep.
Are you a big believer in that against option teams? I noticed that. I've never seen that.
I think it just goes back to what I was talking about, eye control and doing your job. And in the triple option, everybody has a job. And so you don't even care who has the ball. You do what you're supposed to.